I have known about Jesus' return. I have known about Jesus' return, and I'm not ignorant about the coming judgment. I will never sleep spiritually. Take note of that. That does not mean I will not sleep. I do sleep, but I will not sleep spiritually, because I knew about Jesus' return. That is just what you should begin to think about. And it's the time and the date very, very short. Well, I want to say to you, Jesus never rejects anyone. Like I used to say, he loves you, but he hates sin. He loves you, but he hates your action. So, I want to say, after your prayer, healing and deliverance, coming judgment. That is the reason why you should be healed. If you are going to be healed, you are not going to be healed because of your family or because of your children at home, because of your business, because they want you to live wholeheartedly, because of your social life, but because of coming judgment. I will be healed because of coming judgment.
Je serai guéri à cause du jugement dernier.
I will be blessed because of coming judgment.
Je serai béni pour le jugement dernier.
So I'm not here to go to party, to go to, because there are many places you want to go because you are sick. No, because of coming judgment. Like I have said, I knew, I have known about Jesus' return. So I want to leave you in faith about the coming judgment. I'm not here to talk about healing, deliverance, or whatever, but about the coming judgment. So thank you.
It is time for the Antichrist to come, and he wants to come through the womb of a woman that is in church. The Antichrist will be born inside the church through fornication. That person will be pregnant by fornication. You see the way Christ came through a woman, the Antichrist is going to come through a woman in the church, not from the club, a lady in the church. And it's time. Be careful not to equal yourself with an unbeliever. One, be careful of immorality, because if a Antichrist is born by a girl in the club or by a prostitute, you won't believe. So he has to come inside the church. There are three operations of the Antichrist. Number one, there's what they call the spirits of the Antichrist. Number two, there is the people of the Antichrist. They are in the church now. These people, they will be serving God, believe in Christ. One day, they will not believe again. They are still inside the church now. They are the people of the Antichrist. There's the spirit of the Antichrist. That spirit is like the way God poured out his spirit in the whole world, born of flesh. That's how the spirit of the Antichrist will be poured out into the world. And there is the Antichrist himself, the lawless one. So that one now is penetrating. They have announced his birth in the realm of the spirit, and is waiting. He will come through a lady in the church, a Christian. Close your leg. Pastor that is fornicating with you, or committing immorality with you, a Christian brother, or an unbeliever. But women, I'm advising you, the Antichrist won't come as a spirit. It will come as a baby inside a woman's womb. And in the realm of the spirit now, Lord spoke to me. He said it has been announced that it's time for a lady to conceive. Just as Mary conceived Jesus, the agenda is that it must be from the church. It will start from the church, from a Christian mother, and everybody will think he's from the church. It won't start from the club. Think. What I'm saying now, the devil is not happy. The ghost of darkness. If you like joke with your womb as a woman, there was one thing William Branham used to preach, and people said he was possessed with demon. in his last day. Even Derek Prince said a spirit possessed William Branham because he preached to say that Cain was not from God, that it was the devil that impregnated, that serpent impregnated Eve to give birth to Cain. He's a prophetic preacher, but they think he was blaspheming. But Jesus said, your father is a murderer from the beginning. Who was the first murderer? You see, when God is saying there should be no immorality in the church, he knows why. The devil always come from what God is always correcting you about. That weakness God is already correcting, that you're always falling back to. So the day it will catch you, it's not that day. God has been warning you about it for long. Deuteronomy 29 from verse 18. It says, so that there may not be among you man or woman or family or tribe whose heart turn away today from the Lord our God to go and serve the gods of this nation, and that they may not be among you a root. When they go and serve other gods, then there will be among your family a root bearing bitterness. If one person in a family goes, that's what it's showing you. He said, let them not be a man among your family or woman, your family or tribe, who's are turned away to serve other gods, or else there will be a root bearing bitterness or wormwood in that family. So the devil is programming lust in the church much now, like no man business. Immorality in the church like no man, because that is how the antichrist need to come, through immorality. If you read about the New Testament, God was always warning sexual immorality. All the apostles were warning, carry your vessel with respect. Sexual immorality, they were hammering it, because the antichrist will come through the church, through the sin of sexual immorality. It can't come through proper marriage. No, it must come through sin. That's why it's called the man of sin. 2 Thessalonians 2:3 says, let no one deceive you by any means, for that day will not come unless the falling away comes first. And the man of sin, that's the antichrist, it will be born through sin, immorality. Do you know the most intensive sin in the church now? Immorality. And the man of sin is revealed, the son of perdition, who opposes and exalts himself above all that is called God or that is worshipped, so that he sits as God in the temple of God. He will be born in the church, born by a Christian lady. The man can be anybody, but the woman must be Christian. That's the point. But the act it was born with, that's what we categorize him. The man of sin, born in immorality. He said, showing himself that is God. Do you not remember that when I was still with you, I told you this thing? And now you know what is restraining, that he may be revealed in his own time. And I told you, God spoke to me. It has been announced in the realm of the spirit. He said, for the mystery of lawlessness is already at work. He will make the church lawless. The mystery of lawlessness is already at work. Lust, greed, immorality, inordinate passion. The mystery of lawlessness is already at work in the church. Then he said, whom the Lord will consume with the breath of his mouth and destroy with the brightness of his coming. The coming of the lawless one is according to the working of Satan, with all power, signs, and lying wonders, and with all unrighteous deception among those who perish, because they will not receive the love of the truth, that they may be saved. And for this reason God will send them strong delusion, that they should believe the lie, that they all may be condemned who did not believe the truth, but had pleasure in unrighteousness. The Antichrist will not come from a girl in the club. It will come from a prostitute. Instead, don't be surprised that prostitutes give birth to nice believers, but the church is where he wants to come from, so that when he's born, raised by a Christian home, they say, we saw this boy, he was born in the church, he was even dedicated in the church, look at him now, he's even doing miracles. Because now this is how the Antichrist is going to work. I told you they have three ministry of the Antichrist. There's the spirit of the Antichrist, there's the people of the Antichrist, there's the Antichrist himself. The people are sitting in the church, they won't fall away until that Antichrist is born. Then by his spirit that is using to do many signs and all that, the spirit will enter the people of the Antichrist, and there will be a great fall away. When you see that there's so much strong urge, appetite as a believer for you to watch pornography, for you to masturbate, for you to commit adultery, like immorality is burning in you. The source is the Antichrist is trying to come. We need the gift of self-control, the fruit like no man business now. So God said it's the Alpha Omega, the beginning. So he will always tell us what's going on.